Okay. Right. Sorry. That's better. Camouflage. You wouldn't be able to see me.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be.
I've been making videos about people like CC for 4 years now, and when I got into the studio this morning, I was feeling a little bit nostalgic. So I thought, I wonder how long CC's been doing this. So today, we're going to take a look at one of CC's very early videos, because he seems to be getting worse. He still seems to think the earth is flat, but have his arguments changed? Please subscribe.
My numbers on YouTube are changing constantly now. I'm not sure why they're doing that. From subscriptions to views now are changing numbers.
Well, that happens to all of us. My numbers go up and down like a porn star's ass. And although I don't like it, it's just part of being on YouTube. Some videos people will watch, some they won't. Why do you think it is, Chris? Are they out to get you?
So I don't know if YouTube's playing games or... I'm sure they're doing something and they're up to something, but that's not what I made this video for.
See, I know him so well. Of course he thinks it's YouTube's fault. It couldn't possibly be because he makes videos claiming that the earth is flat, even though we've known and been able to demonstrate that it's not for thousands of years. This seems to be a common theme with flat earth bozos and other conspiracy theorists as well. My videos aren't getting the views they deserve, so they are trying to silence me. Now, whilst I disagree with censorship as a rule, I can understand why one of the biggest companies in the world may not want misinformation flooding their platform. How many companies do you think would want to advertise their products or services on a website filled with people like Chris? Not that many, I would guess. But luckily, some companies do want to advertise on YouTube, which is why I'm happy to say that today's video is sponsored by long-term partner Surfshark VPN. Today's video sponsor is award-winning VPN Surfshark, and they have my back when it comes to getting the most out of my streaming services. For example, the version of Netflix you see can be completely different to someone on the other side of the world, but with Surfshark you're able to quickly and easily change your virtual location and instantly have access to a ton more content. Now obviously, everyone has their personal preferences. I'm often signed into either America or UK so I can watch all the US TV I want without having to purchase a separate streaming account or move to America, which isn't really that practical. But there's definitely a location out there to suit everyone's taste, and the great thing about Surfshark is that they actually offer unlimited devices under one account. So if you share your Netflix with your family or friends, you haven't got to worry. You've got them covered too. And on top of all the fun stuff, of course, they've got you covered for important things too, like ensuring your privacy and safety online by protecting all your personal information and encrypting all the data that gets sent between your devices and the internet. Now you can use my code CREAKY for 83% off and 3 extra months for free. Oh yeah, and a 30-day money-back guarantee.
You're here maybe because you've got a lot of questions and no answers.
Yeah, I do have questions. And the first and probably the most important question I have ever asked a flat earther: why the hell is that huge picture in the middle of your shot on the squiff? It's not really helping my OCD brain. I gotta go and fix that. Bear with me 2 seconds. Oh no, wait, now all the other pictures are squiffy. It's okay, I can ignore it, hopefully. Anyway, CC, you were saying?
We all do. We all do. We all have no answers to exactly what we live on, nor what the stars really are.
But we do, and we have done for literally thousands of years. The fact that you and just about every other flat earther likes to claim that we're all being fooled is completely irrelevant. Do you honestly think anyone takes you seriously? Well, I know other people who are equally as gullible as you do, but on the whole... But overall, I would estimate that probably 80% of the views you get on your channel are from people like me, people who are only there to laugh at the dum-dums.
Nor what the sun is, and what the moon is, and how they eclipse.
Really? So what the hell do you think science has been doing all these years? And at the risk of triggering you, NASA. You do know we've been to the moon, right? And because we've been there, we know quite a bit about it. What was that other thing? Oh yeah, the sun, which is a nearly perfect ball of hot plasma, heated to incandescence by nuclear fusion reactions at its core, radiating the energy mainly as light, ultraviolet and infrared radiation. It's the most important source of energy for life on Earth. And just in case you're new here, CC also now thinks that space is fake and that the sun and moon are just a few thousand feet above us, all enclosed in a nice neat little glass dome that no one has ever seen or touched or provided any evidence for. Editing, CC. Editing. If you take the nonsense out of your videos, more people will watch. Keep it snappy. Edit out your unbelievably long pauses. Oh no, wait a second. If you edit out all the nonsense from your videos, there wouldn't be any video left, would there? Well, at least start editing out the pauses so people like me haven't got to.
Why you feel absolutely no motion at all whatsoever?
Was that motion or emotion? Being a flat earther, I'm gonna go with motion. And to be fair, Chris, you're right. We don't feel motion, as long as it remains constant. Only acceleration and deceleration. And because Earth is rotating at
15 degrees per hour.
Thanks, Bob. And has been for a very long time, i.e. billions of years, we don't feel it. You know, like when you're on a flight traveling at 500 plus miles per hour and it feels almost as if you're not moving at all. Same thing.
That I can answer you, because you're on a plane that is not moving.
That probably just means it hasn't taken off yet. But all really terrible dad jokes aside, when Chris and every other flat earther says plane, they're referring to what they think the Earth is. A flat, stationary plane just sitting somewhere. It can't possibly be space in the case of CC, because he doesn't believe that space exists. So that raises the question, where exactly are we then?
Why there's no curvature?
Now look, I don't want to shock you if you are new and have never seen a real-life flat earther before, but there is. That's kind of how spheroids work. They have curves, and again, we can demonstrate this in hundreds of different ways. And not to mention all the things that just wouldn't work if the Earth was flat.
Well, there's no curvature because we're on a plane, again.
Good answer, Chris. So even 4 years ago, when you were a younger, fresh-faced flat Earth moron, you still didn't think that any of your really smart claims needed to be explained, let alone demonstrated. It's one thing to claim to believe that the Earth is flat and at least try to demonstrate that, even though you all fail miserably every single time as a community overall. But all you do, CC, is say that the Earth is flat, laugh a little bit, adjust your Richard Gere quiff, and then pause, making us all feel very uncomfortable for 10 seconds. Usually when somebody makes a claim so publicly, they at least try to show that they aren't a complete whack job. You, on the other hand, you don't seem that bothered.
There's a lot of philosophies about what exactly we're living on.
Are there? From who exactly? Or is that something else you're gonna just say and then offer no sort of citation for? But even if you could offer a citation, it would still be wrong or thousands of years out of date. Because we know now, and have known for a very long time, that the Earth isn't flat.
And I'm not really sure what to believe.
It isn't a question of belief though, is it? It's a question of looking at the evidence that backs up your claim, of which there is none, in the case of flat Earth. So on that basis, the only way anyone could ever entertain the idea of a flat Earth would be to completely ignore everything we know about the natural world and how it came to be here. Oh, that bloody picture's really bothering me. I'm sure he did it on purpose just to be edgy and cool. Well, it isn't working, because you're neither edgy or cool. Although you are something that rhymes with cool.
Now, I have spoken to people about flat Earth, just maybe 2 people, 3 people.
You speak to people? Ugh, what a weirdo. I hate people then. All that smiling and meaningless chit-chat about things you're really not interested in. Oh, hi, Creaky. I've not seen you since school. And I can't help but notice you didn't accept my Facebook friends request. That's right, I didn't. Because I hated you in school and I still do now. Because I'm petty and hold a grudge even though we left school more than 30 years ago. Sorry, not really sure where that came from. Anyway, Chrissy baby, Chrissy Poo, do you have any videos on your channel of you actually telling people that the Earth is flat? That would make an amazing video. For me.
I spoke to Mark Sargent. I go on his show from time to time.
Oh, I love Mark Sargent. Not because I agree with him or anything, but because my video about him making himself look like a complete turkey on British breakfast television is the most popular video on my channel. Thanks, Mark.
I've spoken to him a couple times, but it's not the same. You know, you really need face-to-face experience, you know, with somebody who
is also a flat Earth moron?
Who is a
gullible idiot that believes everything they see on the internet without verifying any of it?
believer.
Oops, my bad. Believer was gonna be my next guess, I swear. But like I say, and this lovely lady also says,
it doesn't matter what we believe, what matters is what we can prove.
You probably need answers now, and you want to talk to somebody now, and the only way you're going to be able to do it is if you get into contact with somebody via internet.
So you wouldn't recommend getting the answer these people are looking for by studying the evidence that shows us the real shape of the Earth? Interesting way of putting it, Cece. It's almost as if you're trying to stop people from actually finding the truth, which is very odd for a guy who claims to be only interested in the truth, while simultaneously uploading videos to YouTube claiming that he thinks the Earth is flat and space is fake.
I also think that, you should do some more investigation on everything that's around you, the stars, the sun, the moon.
Yes, you should, but not by watching YouTube videos from people like Chris and the other flat earth clowns he's mentioned, because what's the point? All they're going to tell you is what you already believe, so essentially they'll just be backing you up, and that isn't really the smartest way of verifying anything, is it?
Listen to all the crap that we learned when we were a kid, and if you think about it, it's just so ridiculous, when you wake up.
Wake up. Good advice, Cece. Anyway, that's one of the many ways flat earthers account for things like the sun and the moon moving across the sky in plain view. It's not because we are rotating, it's because everything around us is. Just to fool us into thinking that the Earth is a globe, which is a really odd thing for someone like Chris to say, because he also thinks space is fake, doesn't he? So where are these stars, Chris? Let me guess. Stuck to the inside of the dome, right?
And you accept this. We were told all of this nonsense of, the Earth being the shape that it is, revolving around the sun, and that magically we just happen to be aware of the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, and they're the exact same size.
Oh dear. First of all, no. The sun and the moon are not exactly the same size. They're actually millions of miles apart. But for now, we'll just gloss over that. I've covered it plenty of times before. I'm more interested in what you just said about school. What we were told, when I think you meant what we were taught. Believe it or not, teachers have to teach our kids things which are based in reality. It's one of those weird little quirks that parents wouldn't be that happy with if people like you were to get their way and somehow manage to convince the many educational institutions around the globe that teaching something nobody has believed for thousands of years, well, except for flat earthers anyway, would be a good idea, especially when anyone in their class, regardless of age or academic ability, would be able to prove them wrong so easily.
It's almost like they said, let's try to get people to think, try to get people to believe the most ridiculous thing you could possibly ever come up with.
Oh wait, I thought we were talking about education, or in your case, lack of. But it would seem that we've jumped straight back to talking about flat earth. Yeah, CC, flat earthers are trying to get people to believe the most ridiculous thing anyone could possibly come up with. I've no idea why you would say that in a video where you were actually trying to convince people that the Earth is flat, but go on anyway.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
Ah yeah, we're definitely talking about flat Earth again, aren't we?
And when they finally figured out that we don't live on a planet, when they made their way down to Antarctica, they had to cover their tracks.
Oh my word, I bet that would have been an absolute nightmare. The entire continent is covered in snow. You ever tried not leaving footprints in snow? Did they have like a little man with a brush walking behind them erasing all the footprints? Why would they need to hide the fact that they'd been there anyway? I'm getting confused.
Gravity, I believe, is pressure in the air, believe it or not. That's what I think, and I don't think there's actually something underneath us that's causing us to stay down here and not float in the air. Because obviously we can't go anywhere except just float around.
There isn't really an above or under when it comes to Earth. It's all relative, isn't it, based on which part of the globe you are. I'm starting to wonder if this video was before his space is fake days, because he just said floating around. Floating around where? Space is fake, right, Chris?
So, a planetarium, if that's what we live in, on a large scale.
Do you think he realizes the irony in that claim? Thought? I meant thought. Because a planetarium is a theatre built primarily for presenting educational and entertaining shows about astronomy and the night sky, or for training in celestial navigation. All things that a flat earther thinks is fake. Brilliant. I had no idea you were this funny, Chris.
But if you think about it, feel the pressure when you go underneath the water. Feel the immense pressure. If you go down 12 feet, you get a headache, man. Try 20 feet.
Hey, how did this little butt monkey find out I can't swim very well? If I did that, I would drown. I have to ask though, even though you are trying to kill me, what's water got to do with anything? You were talking about gravity.
And I mean, if there truly is the gravity that they say there is, how do these satellites stay up there? You know, how did we even get them up there?
Satellites are able to orbit around the planet because they are locked into speeds that are fast enough to defeat the downward pull of gravity. But it is true that as you get farther from the Earth, its gravitational pull weakens, but it dies off slowly, and gravity never completely goes away. When you get very close to some other large body, the Moon, Mars, the Sun, its gravity dominates over that of the Earth. So essentially, it's about where exactly those satellites are. They're far enough away not to be sucked back down to Earth, but close enough to stay safely in orbit without being sucked off into space. I said suck without laughing, like a child.
You know, maybe these are so light, yeah, the satellites are beyond our atmosphere, but it's gravity. Gravity should be... Oh, shit. Great. Drop the coffee, isn't that wonderful? All right, well, what are you gonna do? Stand by.
Well, I'm not laughing and neither should you be. Anyway, it would seem that Chris is getting worse. This video was from July 2017, when CC was just starting his flat earth journey. Have his views remained the same? Yeah, more or less. Has he gotten dumber over the last 5 years? Now, if you've seen any of my other videos about him, I'm sure you'll agree that he has. But the one thing that doesn't seem to have changed much in the last 5 years is his hair. Just look at it. It's magnificent. So, if you're still here, wow, you must really be bored. But, since you are, what did you think? Do you think it'll be fun to take a look back in time and see what flat earthers were saying when they first got onto YouTube compared to what they say now? Or is this just going to be another one of those ideas in a long line of ideas that all suck? Just want to give a quick shout out to Surfshark VPN for continuing to sponsor my channel. Don't forget to visit the link down in the video description and enter code Creaky for 83% off and 3 months extra for free. It really helps the channel out. Thanks for watching, everybody. Love you, bye.
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blinder.